One of the biggest mysteries in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 is who attacked Kissy Missy. Which character was this, and does the audio given to us give a clue to who might have been the culprit? Just as we start to descend down further into the facility, we hear Kissy Missy starting to get attacked. This causes her to begin shrieking. What can also be heard is loud thumps, an indicator that whatever attacked her must have been a pretty big entity. But the thing I think gives it mostly away is the sound we hear at the start of the very attack. A jumpscare like sound plays, which sounds oddly familiar to another character we've seen before. If we put Huggy Wuggy's jumpscare sound at around 1.25% speed, we hear what seems to be a very similar sound to what we hear during the climax of Chapter 3. So did Huggy do it? Well, firstly, the last time we see Huggy Wuggy is when we sent it spiraling into the depths of the facility. From what we knew, Huggy Wuggy died, but perhaps this isn't the case. Maybe during Huggy's descent, he lashed onto a beam, holding himself to prevent smashing onto the base of the depth of the facility. With Huggy's enormous arms, this actually sounds plausible. But this version of Huggy sounds different, so has Huggy gone through a transformation? Did the prototype give Huggy Wuggy a new body, or perhaps an upgrade? Because this version of Huggy we hear in Chapter 3 sounds like a larger and more deadly version of Huggy from Chapter 1. Let's pay attention to Kissy Missy's footsteps. They are obviously loud, but pale in comparison to our supposed attacker. Another key detail is the way we hear the events pan out. It seems the attacker immediately begins to lunge at Kissy Missy, which we know because shrieks can start to be heard pretty much immediately. The prototype is yet to have a body, so we can rule the prototype out. And the other smiling critters don't seem to even be on this level of the facility, as most either went further down into the depths of the facility or were killed sometime between the Hour of Joy and Chapter 3. The only two of these smiling critters which could be alive is Picky Piggy and Bobby Bearhug, which we know due to their cutouts not ending with a scream, indicating them dying. However, with the sound we hear coming from Kissy Missy's attacker, I doubt it was these two who did it. Also, another key detail is during the encounter a growl can be heard coming from the attacker, which also sounds like Huggy Wuggy, but with a more deeper voice. Or the next possibility is whatever did this to Kissy Missy is a new toy, one that we haven't seen before. It's been hinted many times more monsters reside deeper in the facility, so perhaps a new toy attacked Kissy. Perhaps this toy waited until we left so that it could easily dispose of Kissy Missy, which could be the case. But I think the most likely culprit was Huggy. We don't know if it has fully survived the drop, and we knew Huggy could have easily been alive for the past 2 chapters. Huggy was also shown to be very prolific, with some of the VHS tapes showing how Huggy can survive even after leaving the facility, so by all means necessary it seems Huggy Wuggy could have survived the fall. But what happened to Kissy Missy? There are 2 things that potentially could have gone down. One is Huggy Wuggy or whoever attacked Kissy was sparing her. In this case, Kissy Missy is forced to do the attacker's bidding. And in Chapter 4, we may see Kissy Missy, but she will be hostile to us as to not displease the attacker. The next possibility is that Kissy was killed, after which the attacker takes the remains of Kissy Missy and gives it to the prototype. With us knowing the prototype is growing stronger by each chapter, it would make sense that the prototype would want as much toy parts as possible. And maybe the new toy under the prototype's command is Huggy Wuggy, which we know the prototype does usually tend to have an assistant. Before Huggy Wuggy, it was Catnap, but as we know, due to the events of chapter 3, it would seem the prototype would have given command to another toy. A toy who perhaps could be even more powerful than Catnap. A more powerful version of Huggy Wuggy could be exactly what the prototype wants. Anyways, that's just a little theory I have on who attacked Kissy Missy. On screen here is all the boss fights in Poppy Playtime ranked worst to best, so if you do enjoy this content, then check that out if you haven't already. But until next time, take it easy and goodbye.